at Jet Fitness Erdington once again, and today we're doing a video about Ask the Trainer show. So Ben's going to ask me a couple of questions based on what we've been basically asked this week. So hopefully I'll be able to answer them and support them to the best of my ability. So over to Ben.
Motivating wise.
Motivating.
Is it better to get motivated in class or is it better to get motivated
In the
personal trainer?
With the personal trainer. Obviously, it's a vast question, that one. Basically, there's a lot of people that get motivated by being around people, being motivated by other people doing things, and if they can't do it themselves, obviously they get really motivated. There's other people that like to be motivated by a singular person, someone correcting them, giving them guidance, giving them some probably reassurance as to how to perform the exercise, and ultimately pushing themselves beyond their ability. Now the other thing is obviously that taps into obviously what type of person that person can be. Whether the person is a visual person, kinesthetic, or a totally visual person. Now people are visual, obviously like to be around the people that they like to look at other things. They tend to, however that is obviously the differences out there. People that are a bit more kinesthetic, they may feel that they like to be close to just someone itself rather than being in big groups, which can obviously get them exposed too much. So that can have a knock-on effect on how they motivate themselves. Some of those auditory digital, that's all about when it makes sense for them to train or whatever. Those people can differ from being alone with someone or being in groups. It does differ. However, the biggest thing about, I think, being in big groups is fantastic because you get that motivation, the drive. Nothing's great because obviously we are animals and we're animals of tribe, so we belong to tribes. So it is motivating. However, if someone's quite self-conscious, it can sometimes be better to be alone with the trainer. Yes, correct. It depends on the person.
How does a short, medium and long-term goal keep you motivated?
How does a short, medium, long-term keep you motivated? Now, it's very much so important to have short-term goals. For the reason being, obviously, if you have a massive goal, let's say for instance, if you really need to lose, I don't know, 6 stone, losing 6 stone is massive, it's a huge goal. So what I'd advise someone to do is to have a short-term goal, which could be lose 2 pounds a week. Okay, the medium-term goal could be maybe lose a stone or a stone or 2 stone within a quarter, which is 3 months. Now it's very important because you can see the developmental plan working towards the goal that you so want to. So when I set goals, I always set goals to my clients and the people I coach. Small incremental changes. This is one thing I always say, keep the momentum going, which is about keeping that momentum chip away at the thing you still want to achieve. But ultimately as well, having a goal to achieve, which is great, but it's keeping the goal. Because a lot of people, what they do is they're great at getting the goal, but when they get the goal, they lose the goal. So it's maintaining the goal, which is very important as well.
How would you goal set? What's the easiest way?
Goal setting. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, goal setting is sometimes, believe it or not, this is the planning. And a lot of people sometimes when they say they want goals, they actually don't know what the goal is. I think the biggest goals is, first and foremost, start understanding really what you're doing. The goal, whatever goal it is, it could be anything in life, okay? Set up your goal and say, what is the ultimate goal you want to achieve? I don't know, for instance, say if I want to run a marathon, for instance, as an example, okay, how would I go on about to run a marathon? I can run a marathon right now, I can try, okay, but I have never run a marathon. Although I've been a fit guy, strong guy, I've never run a marathon. So what I'd do, I'd break down in short-term, sort of short, medium, long-term goal. So the long-term would be run a marathon. Medium-term goal would probably be running a half marathon. Okay, short-term goal it could be run 5K or 10K. And then what I then do is I plan the actual training system, and I've set a developmental plan for me on a daily basis that maps out what I need to do in the long term, which is run a marathon. So I probably start with running 2 or 3K a day, okay? Then build it up to 3 or 4K a day. And then build it up slowly, obviously having rest periods and having loads of different weight training, do a lot of different interval training, a lot of different specific goals I'd set up. But the biggest thing is setting those little goals every day in order to get that big goal, because a lot of people want to set a goal, and also as well, setting a goal is important to know whether you're doing the right training for the goal. Because I see a lot of people sometimes, you know, very confusing. They set a goal, they're doing something completely different. Like, you know, it's like getting on a wrong track, you know, so you've got to make sure your training, your diet, your supplementation, it runs parallel to the goal you're working for. Otherwise, in a waste of time.
Back to that motivation between one person and three people. Is it healthy to have competition?
Healthy to have competition, obviously. The question is, there's an answer in the question, obviously, is it healthy to have competition? Competition, if it's unhealthy, it's a very unhealthy competition. If it's an healthy competition, it's great, okay? Now, if someone, obviously I'm a competitive guy, now being surrounded by people that are competitive, it's brilliant. Now, there's a fine between competition and toxic. Okay, so sometimes you might be in an environment of which is competitive, but also toxic. So it's not good being around people like that. But someone that is in a competitive arena with your tribe, you're competing for the same goals, everyone's cheering you on, and everyone's helping you out, and you're helping others as well. I think that's the best way to do it. Because obviously, having that, someone to push it, a goal setting to see, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about in order to become your greater version.
How important is it to get the mindset right to keep yourself motivated before you start?
In terms of training?
Or in terms of reaching a goal?
Yeah, I mean, mind is everything. I mean, your mind commands absolutely everything, although obviously we don't tend to look after our minds that well, even from a nutrition point of view, psychological point of view, in a spiritual point of view. This is obviously in a generalizing sort of sense, really. I think what happens with a lot of times is a lot of people don't really set themselves up in the right manner. What I mean by that, psychologically, they tend to beat themselves, and they'll say if to set the goal, they go, oh, it's going to be too hard. The minute you say it's going to be too hard, believe it or not, you're absolutely right, because you've just said it. You know, the minute you say it's going to be hard, you open a possibility in your brain to make it as hard as you can, and it will. I'm telling you, it will. Obviously, there's nothing that is great to be achieved that's going to be easy. Otherwise, we will be achievers. So achieving things in life that have got any worth is going to be hard work. So obviously, you've got to really make sure, be tough, and you've got to be prepared for the challenge. You've got to be prepared to put some serious hard work. If you think about anyone that has amounted to anything big or small, they'll tell you. Self-made people will tell you it's hard work, relentless hard work. There'll be bad days, there'll be good days. Like we see the seasons, you know, the winter season here is terrible. It's cold, it's rainy, it's wet every single day, most days. Now, nature don't give up, keeps on going, but then eventually it goes into spring, and then eventually goes into summer. So there's good days and bad days. You've got to be able to accept that. But a lot of people, all they tend to do is they set a goal, and if there's a barrier, all of a sudden they stop. Oh, there's a barrier, it's hard. Of course, it's a hard day. It's tough. It's tough. You've got to make sure that you understand the journey. It does take time. It does take time.
So, just overall, your top 5 key points to keep motivated.
5 key points to keep motivated. Plus, I'll give 5 key points to keep motivated, especially in the gym. First and foremost, make sure you prepare. And when I mean prepare, say diet. If your diet's poor, 9 times out of 10 you're going to end up maybe by the vending machine, maybe takeaways, maybe you end up in Tesco, Asda, or Sainsbury's, whatever shop you go to aisle, in the wrong food, so you're not going to prepare there. So make sure you prepare. Secondly, stick with people that are aiming or are trying to achieve a goal, whether it's a business goal, a fitness goal, whatever it is. People that are driven in order to achieve. Avoid toxic people, okay? Those are really bad around you. People that say, oh, why are you doing that for? Are you mad? Why would you do it? Because obviously they're scared of your achievement, so that's why they're trying to drag you down to their level, perhaps. Okay. Fourth, I would definitely say that make sure you've got a structure in place in terms of training. So make sure you're training spot on, make sure you're developing throughout the days, and make sure your training runs parallel to your goal. Going back to what we said about goals, make sure the goal is what you want, and make sure your training runs parallel with it. And then ultimately, the fifth one is really putting all that together, which is your diet, your training, your supplementation, and get going. And make sure you give yourself time as well, because you know a lot of people the ultimate goal, as I said earlier, let's say my ultimate goal is run a marathon. If I never run a marathon and I want to run a marathon next week, it's totally unrealistic, regardless of what plan I'm going to put in place. It does take time. You've got to give yourself at least 12 to 6 to maybe 12 months in order to achieve the ultimate goal.
Yep.
Here we are, another video, guys. So obviously, as you guys know, we come from a very humble place in order to help you guys become your greatest versions. So today's Ben with me, obviously it's Q&A really. A lot of people ask a lot of different questions, and for some of you guys out there, very basic questions, but believe it or not, sometimes the basics don't get answered. But there you are, that's where we're coming from. So check us out on Instagram, which is Carlos Trainer 10. Ben's going to tell you about our Instagram as well, which is
Jets Eddington.
Fantastic, check us out. And with all that said, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit, take care.